ask you about this open format. Is there any concern that this might take away from the Grand Prix Series, the fact that you have both the pros and the eligible skaters combined?
No, I actually think it's going to add to it and enhance it. We're quite really pleased with the format. I think it's been cleaned out quite a bit in just a short few months. And we're seeing really quite good skating here. And I would say very balanced skating between eligible and ineligible. So I think in the long term, this is going to work for the best. And we're going to see the best skaters under conditions that are equal to everybody.
Well, Kurt was a little critical about it, the fact there's really not enough time in that short program to jam so many elements in, when as professionals they don't have to worry about that. Is this a development stage then for the open format?
And most certainly, and I accept the criticism, and in fact we have talked to him about this, and I think that's what we're trying to do this year, is to set out some of these changes and think these things through. And certainly all of the things that the skaters are telling us will be incorporated next year.
We talk about the state of Canadian skating. We've got Elvis, who says he will be there in Ottawa. What about the women's side? You've, had to undergo a lot of slings and arrows over the women. Are you pleased with their development?
Yes, I am. I don't take slings and arrows anymore. I'm actually going to let the ladies do that. I think they're coming along, and it's taking some time, but there has been some sizable progress this fall. So I think we're all waiting for the Canadian Championships and see what happens.
Tell me very quickly about your new role with the ISU.
Well, everyone's fascinated by that this week. Well, I've been appointed by the president to head the Development Commission, which is really an onerous task, and it's quite an honor for me. I'm somewhat flattered because I'm been asked or given the mandate to try to raise the level of skating around the world in countries that the skating is low at the present moment, and I've been given a sizable budget to do this, but it's an awesome task, and one I'm looking forward to, because I think it's a huge challenge. I think in this time in sort of my life and my development, and I'm hopeful I can bring some of the skills and things I've learned in Canada to other countries, and so I consider it a compliment to myself and hopefully to the country.
David, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
David Dorr joining us backstage. Also backstage is Elvis Stojko. He's getting ready to practice his commentating. He's going to sit in with Barb and Rod coming up. We're going to commercial now, then a CTV Sportsnet update with Darren Dreger. Sears Figure Skating Open. I'm Rob Faulds backstage. Over the last little while, former Canadian champion Brian Orser has been in the news, but not for his skating, for his personal life. The first time he sat down, in-depth conversation with our Debbie Wilkes about exactly what is going on in Brian Orser's life. Not skating related, personally.
Brian Orser's private life has become public. The two-time Olympic silver medalist is being sued by his former gay lover in a palimony suit that could become a benchmark in the Canadian legal system. Rather than protecting the privacy of the individuals as requested, the court has ruled that all documents be accessible and open to public scrutiny. Enter the media, who in the last 2 weeks has fed on what appears to be the sensational news of Brian's homosexuality. What do you think this issue is all about?
Gosh, you know what? There's so many different aspects to this issue. Some of which I can't go into because these are issues that we'll deal with a judge. You know, the legal issues of a same-sex palimony situation, which is pretty new. Is it about exposing my lifestyle? Partly. I think the issue caused that to happen. If I had my choice, I wouldn't have wanted it to happen. And now, at this stage in my life, and under these circumstances, it's kind of a lousy way for things to come out.
Yeah, and there's been a backlash too, and some of the backlash has been from invisible sources. I read an article this week in the National Post that was shocking. I'm not even sure what the message was about Olympic flamers.
Yeah. You know what? There are so many spin-offs to this, for this happening, for my
private life to become public. One of the spin-offs was evident in this National Post article about male figure skaters and gay. And suddenly, here we are again. I mean, it's like we're back in the 70s again. It hasn't been an issue. It's not an issue. I'm sure the ratio of gay people, men and women, in figure skating is no different than any other profession. So here we are again, and these are the headlines. And the thing that will disappoint me the most is 10 years from now, or 15 years from now, I don't want to hear the media saying, what happened to men's figure skating? Geez, 15 years ago we had Brian and Kurt and Elvis all on the top of the podium. Where'd we go wrong? Well, I don't want to see parents taking the little boys out of figure skating because it turns them gay, because it doesn't. You know, this is something you're born with. And I happen to figure skate, and I happen to love it, and it was just a great thing for me to get into. And I have no regrets about it. And I want to make sure that we don't go in this direction with men's figure skating, because it's completely ridiculous.
And finally, it said something like, you are a role model, and how could you be a role model if you're living part of your life as a lie?
Yeah. That hurt the most. I've always known my lifestyle. I've known about myself for as long as I can remember. And I never lied about it because no one ever asked me. And anyone who did ask me, either a family member or a friend, I told them the truth. It was that plain and simple. I never was asked by the media all these years.
Well, that then, I must ask you, one of the big deals about the court proceedings, or the legal situation, was that you asked to have the information sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I may have overreacted a little bit, but I was concerned about my own career as a professional skater. And yes, maybe it was a bit selfish, maybe I overreacted, but that was a concern. I was also concerned about my family. You know, I've got nieces and nephews. They're kids at an age where other kids can be mean.
And why does it have to be an issue for them, too?
And it's unfortunate, you know, that, and they're strong, and I'm pretty darn proud of them. I led a very private life. And I have some friends who are gay, and friends who know I'm gay, and friends who I hang out with who are gay, and some straight ones too. So I just go along living my life. Other than that, I like to keep to myself and remain fairly private.
And today, very public. And as always, Brian Orser, one of the greatest skaters of all time, thinking about other people before himself. We're getting ready for the men's short program here in Kitchener. And joining us is another one of Canada's great skaters, and that was your hero right there, Brian Orser. Elvis Stojko is with us to help us with the men's commentary. Maybe just a footnote from you about Brian and what he's had to go through this week.
Well, he still is my hero, and I mean, I grew up watching Brian and training with him, and he's a great person. He's a great person, and that'll never change. And it's just unfair that this had to come out in this way, and like I said before, it's just not fair that his life has to be put out there. He's done such a great thing for Canada, and continues to do so.
And you know, I think that he is going to feel a tremendous amount of support here today. I hope these people stand up when his name is announced. I really feel that Canadians support Brian because they know the type of person he is, and that was a gut-wrenching interview. I really feel for him and what he's going through, and he's felt the pressure here these last couple of days, and I think he's nervous about the response.
Brian Orser, along with 5 other skaters in this men's field. I want to ask you, Elvis, because I think you were going to skate here because of your schedule, because of the injury, you couldn't. Yeah. I know next year you're going to, and I cannot wait to see you and this guy matched up again, because it was the greatest rivalry in men's skating. Kurt Browning and Elvis Stoico.
Yeah. It was great. I would have loved to have gone out there and skate with Kurt and Brian and the gang, and that would have been awesome. Just because of the scheduling this year made it difficult, plus with the legs, so it would have been awesome, so I'm looking forward to it.
Let's take a look at the required elements, Barb.
Elvis, you want to run us through these?
Yeah, sure. We got double or triple axle, triple or quad out of footwork.
I don't think we'll see too many quads in that field.
No quads today.
Got the 1-jump combination, the flying spin, change foot spin, the spin combination, and 2-step sequences.
And what Kurt told me, what he hates about this short program are all the spins. He said, I don't know how those amateurs spin so much. They must get so dizzy that they can't jump.
Who does this favor? The eligibles or ineligibles?
Well, the short program definitely favors the eligibles, but we're going to see in the interpretive free, it definitely is the other way. I think it's a good balance. Overall, it's a good balance.
Very good balance.
Here's another guy you know well, one of your buddies out here, Stephen Cousins, who will lead it off for us.
Absolutely.
First out of the blocks, the Brit.
And he's been very busy in rehearsals for Stars on Ice. I think he was a Canadian.
I think Steven's setting up for his triple axle. Watch him every day in practice doing this.
Like that on the spin combination. The key for him is to hold on to that concentration, that focus through to the very last step.
That definitely happens. I know from doing quadruple, especially in the short program, it does take your concentration away, whether you land it or not.
Nice triple lat.
That was excellent. Eight-time champion of Great Britain. Way to go, man.
This feels good.
I know, talking to him before, he didn't seem like he was going to be ready since he'd been practicing so much and doing so much on Stars on Ice. And gets into the competition field is always tough going from competition to show and back and forth, but I think he did great here.
The words of Elvis Stoico, his old training mate, Stephen Cousins.
Watching him on practice yesterday, he was really having a problem with the triple axle, and he kept missing and missing. So to nail that in competition, you know he was focused. Here's a look at it. That was a beauty.
That was a good one.
Elvis, you never get a chance to see your coach, Doug Lee, in action because you're usually busy on the ice.
Yeah, usually. Oh, there's the fist. Gotta have the fist happening. We know that's there.
Stephen has always had the goods, hasn't he?
Do I get nailed?
He has. He's always had the stuff to make it, and it's wonderful to see him come out here and skate well today. You know, putting it all together.
You definitely didn't. So they read it that way. Hi, Paul. Showing at Sifu at home. How you doing?
They were just talking about a little miss on the spin, and he said to Doug, do I get nailed for that? Too bad. I think you do. There definitely will be a deduction on that.
Hey, Greg, I'm at Proza.
But the big elements were certainly there today.
Where's the Union Jack?
Hey, Mom, hey, Dad up there.
But also, where's the Maple Leaf? Trains and Barry. There's Michael Weiss, high flyer. Elvis got a great quad.
Oh yeah, very good quad. Good competition.
Yeah, came down, tagged that axle, let it run double.
There's Kurt.
Mr. Brown.
I was going in, just holding it, just going.
Must have felt it.
Yeah, you can do this.
You guys were joined at the hip for a while, huh?
I know, for so many years we were battling it out, and I don't know, maybe next year it's going to come back again, so it should be fun.
I love about ISU.
I'll never forget you and Kurt Lillehammer and how you'd watch together. Remember at the end of the free skate, and it just seemed like, you know, you both were carrying your country's hopes there and just waiting and watching and cheering for the Marks for different reasons, too, because of what happened to Kurt in the short program.
5.3, 5.1.
Well, what do you think about the judges?
I think some got on the spin.
4.7, 5.1. The marks for President.
But hopefully these will keep him in contention, and wait until you see his interpretive free. It's awesome. It is absolutely awesome.
That's to come later tonight. Stephen Cousins. Those are the marks to beat at the Sears Open. There's another guy that you know pretty well. He trained up in Mariposa for a while. Eric Milot of France.
Yes, he did. He's a good friend of mine as well.
He's a skater that came so close to making it to the world podium, but just could never seem to put it together when it counts. He was as high as 4th in the 1994 Olympics. Never quite making the podium.
It's always tough. It's, as you know, Barb, it's the last 3 places at the top that is always the toughest to crack. And, you know, it's such a difference, and it really makes a difference up there to really, really make it.
He's opening with the triple axel. He steps out of it.
A little anxious on the entry of that axle. Beautiful triple flip.
He's always been such an intense competitor. Was he the same in training? Very intense?
Yeah, he was very much. Whatever he stepped out to do, whether it be the choreography, setting up for the jumps, always very intense. And I think it's, in a way, a trademark a lot of times from France. A lot of the guys are really intense in what they do, and it's great to see.
Combination here, triple toe, double toe.
transition to the field. The 98 Sears figure skating open in Kitchener. And that was Michael Weiss a few moments ago. He's getting ready to skate. His daughter, Eric Milot of France, does a lot of training and has in the past in Canada, will turn 30 years old next week.
This triple axel turned into a double.
Just
and
anxious.
He turned out of it. But then that forced him to do some thinking on his feet because he needed to get the combination in. So he used that as his double axel instead of the combination.
Yep.
And went for the triple-triple combination later on, which turned into triple-double. This was a triple flip. This was very nice.
Beautiful flow on that landing.
But the base mark is really going to hurt here because of this combination right here, which is the easiest combination in the book.
4.5.
You can hear the crowd some derisive cheers. Required elements marks are low and reflected in that program.
Once again,
presentation will be higher.
Yeah, once again, the combination seems to be the one that, as soon as you try to stick that other jump on the end of the first one, it just takes that pressure and puts it on.
Thank you.
Eric Milot second behind Stephen Cousins.
Okay. Goodbye.
And now a guy, Elvis, well, you'll meet head-to-head in the Grand Prix final and the World Championships. There's his wife and his new daughter who can't watch Daddy right now. This is Michael Weiss. What a high flyer from the United States.
And he definitely has to be the favorite in the field. Here, he's had an extremely outstanding start to his season this year. Opening with the triple axel. He's got good speed going in.
That was nice. A little sideways in the air, but he landed on his feet good.
What do you think about the new rules with the addition of the quad and short program?
I think it's great. I think it really opens it up and lets the guys go out there and really take a risk in the short program, which is going to separate the top guys because everyone was doing the same thing for a while.
Not only that, but you can also do triple axel. Nice combination, triple axel instead of double axel. So the risk elements have just skyrocketed for the short program this year.
A lot more variation, which is what we want to see. Absolutely. I'm loving it. Picking my favorite group, Van Halen.
This year. He just seems to have that much more confidence, it seems, in himself and in the jump.
What'd you think?
That was smoking. Great program.
And that puts the pressure on Kurt Browning.
Take us to commercial, Elvis. Who's coming up?
All right, next is Curtis. Kurt Browning's up next.
And Annie Mae, 2 months old.
I was like, oh. Wow, that was nice. A little scary on that takeoff. He was letting that free side get a little ahead of him, but he was able to catch it. Awesome flow on the landing. Great triple toe. Stuck the landing nice. Wow.
And this program was stacked with difficulty. There's the triple Lutz.
Nice triple Lutz.
Kurt cannot beat this technically. He's just got a triple toe combination plan. Technically, he cannot beat this.
Michael Weiss has quad planned, perhaps for the interpretive phrase, trying to become the first man to land a quad Lutz. Presentation mark strong. He's the guy in first right now, Michael Weiss. Elvis Stoico said it right. Smoking.
This is the program to beat.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Canada, Kurt Browning.
This is great. I haven't seen Kurt skate live in a while, and I'm excited. This is great.
I don't think you've ever done commentary for him either.
No. I remember he did for me in Worlds in '94 in Japan. So
His biggest worry here is that he's going to be too dizzy coming out of the camel to do the triple toe, and he said, if I miss the triple toe, that's why. He did his own choreography for this short program. He said, I think I made it too difficult.
Looked a little anxious on that triple toe. His upper body got ahead of the lower body and slows down the beginning of that rotation, so he wasn't able to stick the landing and get the flow out of the first jump.
This is where Kurt Browning excels.
He's going to have a great set of footwork coming up. Nice. Beautiful triple sock.
When his jumps are on, they are so light and so effortless.
The last few times I've seen Kurt skate on TV, he's looking like his old self again, where he's getting back that lightness in his jumps and really having a good time out there. And that's great to see.
On the blade, he is amazing. But can he keep up now with those young guns out there? Marks to come for Kurt Browning after this.
So, how we feel?
Entertainer Kurt Browning, and interesting to note beside him, his old coach, Michael Uranic.
And this really hurt right here. He needed this added difficulty with the triple toe on the end.
But the showmanship is what it's all about here, and you can tell in his footwork section he's going to be coming up is the steps, and he really takes his time, and that's what I noticed with the pros is they take their time. They take their time out there and draw the audience in, and that's what it's about.
That's what frustrates him so much. Look at his footwork here. Is that there's no time for the performance in a short program. They're trying to jam those elements into 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and there's no time for what he does best.
He'll be very happy to get this done because tonight, advantage Kurt.
Yeah, definitely.
Interpretive free, and you know what? You can hear the audience, and he's going to get hammered for the required elements marks, not having a triple axel.
That one really hurt him without the axle.
Those are the presentation marks.
I'm shocked that he's not ahead, that he's not in third right now. I'm shocked.
He is currently in fourth. Kurt Browning, but watch out because his strength is ahead.
But he needed to stay in contention in the short program.
And this Pro-Am competition, Kurt foreshadowed that earlier today when we talked to him, and he said he was nervous about that short program. Now, what about Jeff Langdon, another Mariposa training club teammate of Elvis Stoico? It's been a struggle for him this season with injuries.
Yes, it has. I was there the day he re-injured his ankle, and he's been struggling trying to get back, and been talking with him and trying to help him out because dealing with an injury myself, so we've been there for each other. So he's excited about being here today, and he was a little worried about skating after Kurt, but I said, hey man, just go out there and have a good time. Here's Jeff's triple axel setup.
And this will be the key to this program. Oh!
Once again on practice, he was doing the same thing, just a little slow off that right side. Wasn't able to snap it in. Combination triple flip, double toe. Section, he kind of stumbled a little bit, and that sometimes can throw you back on track. If you're off a little bit, just click
Force you to focus again.
Absolutely.
Story all season, huh? For Jeff Langdon.
What's important for Jeff is that he gets back on track for the Nationals this year. This is a building experience here this season. He was obviously thrown off track with that injury prior to Skate Canada.
So we have been thrown off track too, by the way. Everybody watching at home, we mentioned Kurt Browning in fourth. In fact, Kurt Browning is second. There was a computer error with the judges scoring. Kurt Browning is second, so he's still very much in it. Michael Weiss leads the way in Kitchener. Michael Weiss leads the way in the men's short program. Kurt Browning is second, and where will the judges place Jeff Langdon?
4.9, 5.2,
Well, the fall of the triple axel definitely brings down the marks here. A little bit scratchy landing on the combination.
5.5, 5.3.
However, he kept things solid for the program. He didn't let that get to him. He did a beautiful triple loop, kept things together, and I think that's kept him strong here and got him in 4th place.
And speaking of staying strong, it has been a very difficult few weeks for our next skater. But here he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Canada, Brian Orser.
And you might think that this format might not favor a veteran like Brian. Elvis yesterday, he said to me, I love this.
Well, it looks like he's, you know, going to feel quite comfortable. I think he's doing the triple Lutz combination,
which he hasn't done in a long time, and he's landing it. I think this is forcing him to skate up, which is great. I think the amateurs can learn from the pros, and the pros are motivated by the amateurs, which is nice. He had a very best professional competition just a couple of weeks ago. Here's the combination triple Lutz.
Just a little anxious on that takeoff once again, and I know from competing, the biggest thing is the upper body always wants to go early and the lower body stays behind. It creates that angled rotation in the air.
Look at his feet fly.
Great footwork again. Nice. It's all those little steps in between that attach that program together. And that's the tough thing in the show program now, is because, like we were talking before about Kurt, it's hard to get out in the audience, pull them in, but also do the elements to stay focused. So it's that in and out type of sensation that you try to get internally in your mind and externally with the audience.
Couple of glitches for Brian Orser. He was Mr. Skating in the 80s. 10 years ago, the Battle of Brian's. I don't think any skater has left a better legacy in Canada, because he motivated Kurt Browning and Elvis Stojko into the 90s.
And the crowd is standing.
Will be the leader heading into tonight's interpretive free skate, but Michael Weiss, 15 years younger than Brian Orser, who's still out there giving it his all.
Fine. Your arm came out too soon. You let go too soon.
I
You let go.
was trying so hard to keep it on one foot, too.
No. This was good. Save it.
Fine there. Boom.
It's okay.
What
Let
I
go too
loved
soon.
about
This was
this
nice.
performance was
Yeah,
he
deluxe was
fought
good.
all the way.
Good.
He's got that fire back, that
felt the
competitive
felt so
fire,
easy,
which is so nice to see.
He had way more energy than last year in Tokyo.
Totally.
And it's that fight that keeps everything together.
That's right.
Brian has been through so much personally in the last few years, and
I hope.
a couple of years ago, I thought his competitive fire sagged.
Mhm.
And you see it back in his eyes again.
I think these open events have brought it back. it's forced him to raise to a new level. And, you know, he actually at the last Open event beat Yulia Kulik. He was third with the performance of his life.
He'll be fourth heading into the Interpreter Free. Don't forget that comes up later tonight on CTV. You did a great job, E.
Thank you.
Can you come back tonight?
Absolutely, I'll be back.
All right, on. Stay with us. Elvis Stojko will be back in the booth tonight. We'll get his analysis. And Michael Weiss, one of his competitors. And it looks like Elvis will be heading to the Grand Prix Series final. We'll find out results from NHK later tonight. Kurt Browning second at the Sears Figure Skating Open. Let's join Rob Falls once again.
With American Michael Weiss, who leads. Does this format, Michael, advantage you?
I don't think so. I think maybe the short program does because it's a program that I've been doing and I'm used to skating. But, you know, for the second program, I think it favors the professionals. But, you know, that's why it's such a fun event because, you know, one person has entertainment in the short and then the professionals have the advantage in the long.
Well, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
What an interesting afternoon we've had. Michael Weiss, one of the great performances of it. And we'll be back to wrap it up and look forward to tonight.